call upon another wonderful student, Balaji Ramurthy, from the Global MBA graduating batch, to share his reflections.
I think it's a fantastic feeling to be here, back to Dubai, back to the place where it all began. This city never ceases to charm each and every one of us every time we return. And not just once, but several times. Last night when I was in my flight, and as I was descending over the Dubai airport, I could just not fall asleep. I was wondering what was the reason for my sleeplessness. I knew it was one of the two things I would accomplish today. One of the two things which was on my checklist today. One was to jump off a plane over the Palm Jumeirah at 13,000 square feet, which I just did. And the second one was to deliver this commencement speech in front of my mom and all you graduates, and to connect to all of you all and reflect all the thoughts of you all. I just realized this is what made me sleepless last night. Good evening, Mr. President, the guest of honor, faculty, staff, friends, family, tourists, debt collectors, former and future employers, and most importantly, good evening to the SPJAIN MBA class of 2010. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge a few people. Firstly, I would like to thank the management and my fellow cohort to give me the opportunity to speak today. Secondly, I would like to thank my family, my mom especially who's here. My ability to stand before you today is her victory, and in many ways she's been instrumental in my success in the MBA program. I would also recognize the role of the SPJAIN family, which has designed the GMBA program. Many of us have only dreamt of traveling around the world, but you, sir, brought the world to our program, enriching it with different cultures, values, all interlaced with excellent learning. From the heights of Burj Khalifa and the Marina Bay Sands, to the barbecue parties at Jumeirah and Siloso, from Academic City to 10 Hyderabad Road, and from Irish Village to Rupee Room. You have taken us from one part of the world where every sentence begins with an al, to another part of the world where everything you speak ends with a la. Kerala, remember? And not to forget the Niagara Falls and Tobermory for some lucky ones. Every moment has been etched in our memories. As I look at all of you, nicely gowned up in your black robes, I can't help but reminisce. Wow, it's been a really long journey, hasn't it? For those of you keeping count, exactly 416 days have passed since we first gathered in that SPJAIN Leadership Hall right here in Dubai, and for some of us in Singapore. Back then, we suited up with anxious faces and sweaty palms. We gently smiled at every passing figure, expecting a smile in return. Back then, we were trying to find our feet, reassuring ourselves that yes, we fit amongst the IIT engineers, the chartered accountants, the bankers, and of course the TCSers. Today we are surrounded by the same faces, but the only difference is that they are lifelong friends, and really successful ones at that too. So what is it that SPJAIN has done over the last 1 year? How different has it been from the other programs? It's a place people come to learn about the world and its people, and not merely tack on additional iBanking know-how or get their heads around cost accounting and project management. I think this school has been a melting pot of several spirits. Spirits of independence, spirits of fun, that of adventure, intellectual curiosity, creativity, and indeed mischief, in no small measure, especially at all the birthday bashes and the daru parties. And we certainly won't forget Ali Bhai's bus rides, or Neha or Sonia's constant warnings to complete the feedback. Nor would we forget Lizelle's, you missed your attendance, nor Manju's yummy Mysore masala dosa. Though we missed our families and lived our relationships on Skype, our common outlook on life meant we became our very own extended family. I know we have parents and families in the audience tonight, and looking at our tweets and Facebook pictures over the last 1 year, many of them must have suspected that we've been goofing off at school over the last 1 year. However, let me clear that for you. Let me tell you that while we did play hard, we did accomplish a lot as well. Leave aside studying 51 credits, attending 900 hours of lecture, giving seemingly endless oral presentations, writing countless papers, and ingesting more caffeine than a healthy person would, we achieved a lot more. We won the second position at Avalon Consulting's prestigious business strategy competition. We beat NTU in their own backyard, winning gold and silver at the Singapore MBA Olympics. We successfully hosted the first HR conclave at Singapore, bringing together senior HR executives from the Middle East and Southeast Asia. We formed SPJAIN's first ever Bhangra group, Federal Bhangra Inc., aka FBI, and passed on the legacy to our juniors. We cracked FT's rankings for the first time to be placed at the 68th spot. We not only learned to analyze income statements and balance sheets, design questionnaires and go-to-market strategies, make elevator pitches and harp on jargon-filled MBA talk. More than all of these, we learned to make hard decisions. It all started with possibly the hardest decision of our lives, deciding to pursue an MBA. That decision meant leaving the stability of employment, giving up a year of compensation. Many felt that it was an unnecessary degree, or that we couldn't afford it, or that we were simply being vain and wanted 3 letters after our names for probably a heavier dowry amount. Yet, despite the difficulty of going against the ones who cared for us, we decided to enroll anyway, because we realized that every leader knows very well, every path to greatness is paved with difficult decisions we all made, and must often be walked despite the disapproval of others. We will find that the SPJAIN MBA program, the decision to get into the SPJAIN MBA program has totally been worth, and it's prepared us to take on the future as leaders. It gives me great pride to be part of such a talented cohort. I have no doubt that SPJAIN has indeed crafted global leaders and will continue to do so. Well, I'm not just playing the role of a student speaker today, but also that of a messenger for the evening. Some of us have gone to Singapore to live this moment, while some of us are here. But a lot of us have not been able to attend this special moment due to several reasons, and I do carry their little messages today. Vinay Adiga remembers the MBA for all the Billo Ranis and corridor bhajans, Dow Cruise medleys and guitar jam sessions. Pankaj Joshi remembers it for the lifetime friends that he has made. Of course, apart from the exposure to hundreds of cases, the absurd assignments and the unduly strict admin. Harshvardhan Chokani recalls the G in the GMBA, studying in 3 different regions, Canada, Dubai and Singapore, in an Indian institute registered at Australia, an MBA with global diversity indeed. Vivek V3 recalls the late night McDs, loads of birthday fun and the cream of all cakes. Bishan Singh Bhalla has learned to use the phrase, well it depends, every time he's asked a question. Simran recalls a song which their cohort made during the SPJAIN tenure. Please forgive me for my Hindi language. कुछ सपने लेके हम आए थे यहाँ, जो सोचा वही पाया MBA. I don't know the rest of the lyrics, I'm so sorry. We did it. SPJAIN GAPR 10, we are a notch apart. And lastly, it has been extra special to Abhiram Bajpai, because he not only made a ton of friends here, but also met his girl during the course. We all know who she is. He also quotes, "What should have been a pleasant cruise, I did surface all battered and bruised. And as we emerged from the grind, all that was left was empty bottles of beer cans behind. Wherever we may go, whatever we may become, free birds we are now, on our way to glory. But this trail was meant to be trodden, and this journey should never be forgotten." And finally, After all the case studies on Apple that we have done over the last 1 year, courtesy all our professors, I guess the evening would be incomplete without the mention of our good old friend, Steve Jobs. I know, John, you mentioned him, but I have to mention him again. Thus quoting the words of the great man who spoke at Stanford in 2005, everybody, stay hungry, stay foolish. Signing off. Thank you.